Hey, it's Bitty Penny. Welcome back to my channel. You guys, today's video really just has so many of my favorite things in it that I'm a little bit giddy as I put it all together for you. I ran out of Christmas cards. I have 2 more sheet loads in 2 sizes. I'm going to show you how to use 12 by 12 paper to make 5 by 7 sheet loads from the December sheet load. We're going to make some more A2s. And I'm going to use some 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper for that and 12 by 12. So there's a lot in this video, but this video is also extra special because this is Christmas time. I'm making Christmas cards. It's Merry Monday, and I have a special opportunity of a place to give. And so I'm going to tell you more about that as we go. This collection is from Antonio Makes, and this is 2 different collections he has right now. He has this Monochrome Christmas, which is really great. It's all black and white, and then the other one is called Silent Night, this blue, and I thought that was so striking, especially the 2 together. And then I thought, okay, it also needs another color, which I'll get to that in a minute. So I'm taking this 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. I'm cutting it down here to 4.25 by 5.5 to show you that you can get you can get 4 A2 card fronts that way. But the way I prefer to do it is to cut it down to 4 inches by 5.25. So on the 8.5-inch side, I cut it to 4 twice, and then I have that leftover strip, and then I cut it to 5.25, and then I have that leftover strip each time, which ends up, all those scraps end up going into the card itself, and they're really handy. So I love cutting my paper like that. Now I shopped my stash to find another color, and I ended up with this pattern paper from Stampin' Up. This is a really old paper pad that's been in my stash. I just thought these went so beautifully together that I had to use them. So let me bring my paper trimmer down so you can see what I'm doing. I forgot I was so far up there. Okay, I'm cutting this paper down to 6 by 6. I wanted to work with 6 by 6 paper because that's what the sheet load calls for, but I don't have this paper pad in a 6 by 6. So I'm following the sheet load. You can get yours for free. I'll leave the link down below. And I'm going to use it, and I'm making the A2 cards. Now this is very similar to the one that I made on December 2nd here on my channel. But this time I did not make a pocket. I did use a tag, but I glued everything down. So in my first sheet load, if you haven't seen it yet, you can go back and watch it. There's a pocket and a tag, and it's sweet. Totally different paper collection too. So now I've got 3 variations of the sheet load for you guys. I know y'all really wanted to see me work with it on a 5 by 7, so stay here. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to convert the sheet load to a 5 by 7. Of course, I wanted to add some bling and, details, all the details. I love layering and I love the details. Okay, I want to talk for a minute about the giving. So, this is a time of year when people give, and, you give to your family and friends, and there's opportunities around us to help others. For the last few years, we've been helping a couple of families who really needed it, right? And so at Christmas time, we've been blessing them a little extra so that they could buy gifts for their children, pay the electric bill, whatever. So first, I have an opportunity for you guys to give, but I know that there's a lot of ways to give. I mean, even when we're giving at the Salvation Army by giving things we no longer need, or dropping change in the bucket. So during this coloring section, which I wanted to show you guys this because with this monochrome kit, you could color it. There's a lot of items in here that you could add color. So while I'm coloring with my colored pencils, I want to talk about this opportunity. So I go to the Pflugerville Community Church, and we're non-denominational. And every year they pick a Christmas Eve offering, somewhere to put a special gift for Christmas Eve. And this year, it's a very special cause, and that's why I'm bringing it to you. I know that a lot of people here on my channel, because I openly share my faith, know about my church, and they watch it on YouTube because you can watch the sermons live on YouTube. So many of you have reached out to me and said, I'm no longer in a church, and so I love watching virtually because it gives me kind of a home church. And I think that is so beautiful. And I will leave our YouTube channel for our church linked down below. I'm bringing this to you because this offering this year is a community thing. And you guys are my community. You're my paper crafting community. And here, everything's about more than paper and glue. Here, we share, I think, in a much deeper way. So, let me show you real quick how you can make a gift, and then I want to tell you what the gift is for. So this is our website, the Pflugerville Community Church, and there is lots of information here if you want to learn more about our church. But if you hit that give button at the top, then you go through PayPal's regular pay site, and that red, where it says click on this red PayPal link right there, you click on that, and then you can make a directed donation. So you're not donating as a member, but you're donating for this special cause, this Christmas Eve offering. What is this Christmas Eve offering? Well, it is very special. It's for to build a facility, a training facility for pastors in Kenya. So let me read you a little thing from my pastor. Hold on just a second. So every year, PCC has a Christmas Eve mission offering. This year, the mission offering will go to the Awaso Pastors Union to build a Bible training school for pastors in Kenya. Over the last 10 years, PCC has provided 14 church buildings for the Maasai people in Kenya. Others inspired by PCC added another 7 church buildings. As Trudy Marshall, founder of Libraries of Love, who was in Kenya earlier this year, noted, the biggest need here is training for pastors. According to the EPU, 85% of all pastors in Owasso have no theology or theological training at all. This is an opportunity for PCC to bless thousands of people in numerous congregations scattered throughout Owasso, Kenya, for generations. Thank you for giving above and beyond your regular giving to PCC to make this mission a reality. So, I thought this was appropriate for me to bring to you guys because we are a community here. And I can only imagine that this facility that they are wanting to build as a training facility for pastors, 85% have not had theological training, that they will have community the way we have community, that they will be able to come together, learn together, share, and exchange their experiences. And I love that I also thought it was appropriate to share this with you guys because this is not for one congregation. This is not for one denomination of Christians. This is for over 40 different denominations. So it's wide open and it's for an underserved community. And, our church has been busy building libraries and churches. And this just seems like the perfect next step. So wanted to share that with y'all. I suggest a $5 donation. Every time someone does a little, it builds up to a lot. And that's what the Uvalde card drive taught me. Over 500 people sent me cards for the Uvalde tragedy. We gathered 20,000 cards. Every little bit makes a difference. Okay, let's get it. That's the giving part. Now, let's get into this 5x7 part of the sheet load. I've got this 12 by 12 or a pack of paper. I also have those cardstock embellishments. They're from different companies, but I thought they went together beautifully, so we're not going to worry about that. I'm going to grab a couple of sheets of the plain paper from this paper pack. It's a couple of years old, you guys. I don't know what it's called. I'm just shopping my stash. And so I've got a couple of plain papers here. And then I have a pattern with like a medium size print and a pattern with a small print. That is always a good way to mix prints, is to have something that's medium, a little bit small, a little bit large, mix it up. You don't want a bunch of small prints and different prints. That gets complicated. Okay, so I'm cutting this paper down to 4 by 6. So I cut all my 4-inch strips first. I'll get 3 of those. And then I cut those down to 6 inches. So now from every 12 by 12 sheet of paper, you can get 6 4 by 6 panels, which are going to be my card fronts. I was toying with making them a different size, but I really do love this size. And I actually like the wide border or margin around my card front. I've always liked that framing look. And so for me, these are the right measurements. You could play around with it and come up with different measurements if you don't like the wide border. I grabbed another sheet and I cut this down to 5 inches, and then I turn it and I'm cutting all of those down to 2. So from the next 12 by 12 sheet of paper, cutting it down to 5, rotating it, and now I'm going to get 2 by 5 inch strips, and I'll get 6 from each one. I'm making 12 of these 5 by 7 cards, and I found this to be the most efficient way. So now I've grabbed my other pattern. Now this one is directional, so you need to think about that as you're cutting, but I cut mine down to 5 inches again, and then now I'm cutting this into 1-inch strips. And I'm making sure that my wording is going to be upright, but you could alter it if needed. So just think about your directions of your paper and how you want it to be oriented on your card. Okay, so now from one of those strips, I was able to get all 12 1-inch strips. I grabbed another sheet. I'm cutting that down to 3 inches, and then I'm cutting all of these to 1 inch again. And again, from this one 3 by 12 inch strip, I'll be able to get all the pieces I need for all 12 cards, which means I will have some scraps left over from the 12 by 12 papers that I selected, but they're like nice, big, useful scraps. And I'll show you that at the end of this video. Here they are now, but I'm going to use that red and white paper more for the inside of the cards. All right, so now I have all of my strips, and I will tell you that I know we all love, a lot of us love the 5 by 7 cards, and you guys get excited when I alter the sketch to make it work for a 5 by 7. I actually tried it once before and I did not like the outcome. For whatever reason, I do not like this sketch with the matting layer for a 5 by 7. I've tried it 2 times now and I just did not like it. So I have omitted the matting layer, and I'm just doing the 4 by 6 with the 2 strips, the little piece that goes across, and then a focal point. Now, this is the thing about directional paper. You could turn the sheet load and have it go horizontal, but not if you have directional paper the way that I do. So that's something, just to think about in advance. All right, so I played with this in a few different ways, and I staggered my pieces, and I really liked that. The first piece, I put them even, and it was fine, but I really like it staggered like this. So this is the way I made the other 11 cards, is with that green piece and that red piece kind of offset from one another. And then I brought in these chipboard pieces. These are from Echo Park, And I really do like these. And if you're worried about weight or dimension, you can always peel off like the back layers of that chipboard a little bit and make them thinner if they're just too tall for you. I'm going to be handing these out to our congregation over the next couple of Sundays to members of our congregation. I always love to hand out Christmas cards at Christmas Eve service or, a couple of Sundays before to just different families. And I'll just write inside like love the Clayton family or whatever. So that's another way you can give. So maybe, the Kenya project isn't really like tugging at your heartstrings. I want you to know that there's no pressure. I just feel like this is the season when we bring things like this to the table. And these are the things that make me feel like my channel has more purpose than it's not superficial here. You guys, I'm always sharing my journey. I do share my faith. I've had people say that I'm brave for sharing my faith, and I just really don't feel that way because I live in a country with free speech and freedom of religion. And so I don't feel brave. I just feel like I'm being true to my authentic self because I keep Christ in the craft room and everywhere else. And, I guess that's another reason that this Kenya project really touches me is because I think it's easy for us sometimes to take it for granted that we live in a country where we can practice our faith openly. And, I know that there's a lot of projects, and that's why I mentioned earlier about that we can do right here in our community. There's people around us who need help, and I get all of that, and I agree. We've been helping families for the last couple of years that we can, doing what we can. But I just think that it's also important to pay it forward, and especially in places where they don't have the same established rights that we have here. And I think it is just critically important, to reach out beyond our own, like I don't know. I've always wanted to help others, and especially others who are really in dire need. But as one person, there's not a lot I can do. That's another reason I'm sharing this Christmas mission with you guys, because as one family, I feel like I can't do near as much as my heart wants to do. But if I share it here with you and one or two or five of you decide to donate to the cause, and you can donate $5, $1, any dollar amount you want to this cause, then it's a way for me to give more by sharing this message. So I hope that that is clear in my in what I'm sharing with you guys today. So as you can tell, I'm just going with these cards. Now, here, for the sake of not having you be completely bored, I am putting the cards together individually, but earlier in the video, I was showing you the mask making style, which is where you glue down all of your panels on your card for front, and then you come back and glue down all your ephemera, and then you come back and glue down all your sequins, or in this case, I did all my ribbon at once. That's really the quickest way to assemble cards, but sometimes we're not really in a hurry. I am, because I need to get the rest of my cards out, and I ran out of Christmas cards this year. We gave a lot to assisted living. I made 25 to give out in the community randomly, leaving them at HEB or wherever. And then I had a need for so many more. So here are an additional 28 cards that I get to hand out and give, which is great. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this. I do love this Sheetload now as a 5x7. I'll tell you, I have tried it twice and didn't like it. These are my scraps. So I really think for these 5x7 cards, the things that helped me with it and enjoy it more were the little banners at the top, the ribbon at the bottom, filling in that space. I think these cards reward the looking, they keep you interested, and they feel cohesive. So I'm at peace with the 5x7 version of this sheet load this month. I have totally enjoyed the A2 version because now I've made 30 A2 cards using this sheet load. Again, you can get the sheet load down below. This is a part of Merry Monday, where every Monday you share creations throughout the year that are Christmas based. Another way to keep Christ in the craft room is doing Merry Mondays, which I will be doing throughout 2024. Not every Monday, but regularly. And I'll share more about that with y'all later. If you're interested in these, go check out Antonio Makes. All the links will be down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.